Tell me a little bit about this process when you were doing this brainstorming, if you can recall.
So, yeah, for the scenarios, I ended up playing with the different kinds of relationships that Leah could have with Malka,
Yeah.
because I felt a strong pull to Malka because she's not explored very much in the season. So,
Good thinking there. That's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to pull out stuff that's there and hasn't been developed. Also with sets, you know, you walk the sets and you find something that nobody's used, and then you sort of have a little moment there, and then they love that because you're enriching it, you know. Lovely. Sorry, I interrupted you. It's a really good idea because it's so original, and also it's something, if you've done that, they're going to say, well, you know, we could bring that back in a few episodes' time. We could have a storyline on that. How about how she actually intervenes and does something or other? Do you see what I mean? So
yeah,
that's I'm just looking at it from the production house point of view. You see, you're actually bringing something rich, and that's really what they want. So they don't want somebody just sort of churning it out. And it's very easy. I tell you what, it's very easy when you master these skills to just churn it out. And that's why I've been going on about this recalibration thing. Because otherwise it just becomes mechanical. You see, so what you're doing here is you're looking for opportunities to put your own brand on it, because you are really getting into those two women characters, right?
hmm,
Now, one of the things that I thought was really very good was the way you had all this other stuff. And what I'd be saying to you would be, I really like the idea of the husband and the rabbi and all these people. Could you please put it in for me? That's what I would be saying.
I actually originally I had them in,
Mm.
but so the assignment that you gave on,
Mm.
you said only 3 beats, and
All right, okay.
that ended up being 6 beats. So I decided to pull them out.
Well, I think that if I were faced with this sort of thing and I spoke to you in a meeting about it and you said that, I would be saying go for it. Go for it, even though it's more, because it's really good, and we can economize somewhere else in the show. You know, we would cut down on something else because this is such a good story. You know, that's the sort of thing happens sometimes, you know. And that's what I would say, because it gives us a chance to really develop a lot of characters. And the thing is, you don't need much to develop a character. Every episode I ever wrote of one of these disease of the week things, I give everybody a nice little bit, because because then they want you back. It's like, oh, Linda's writing, you know, oh, she's so
Yeah.
good, and it's only because I've given them a nice speech last time. You know? It's sensible because the audience then, if they have only seen a little bit shadowy character like the father, and suddenly there's a little insight into him, it makes him more interesting. It makes the whole viewing experience more interesting. Otherwise, he is like wallpaper. Oh, that's the drunk husband, you know. So
Yeah.
that's where if you were going to be employed on a show, and it would be wonderful if you could, because you learn so much, and you really learn how to make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. Do you know what I mean by that? It's a kind of quaint British saying. You learn how to make something out of nothing. So if you've got boring character, you think about what on earth can it, and sometimes the plot lines they give you is like, oh God, what can I do with this? But then you find out how to do something with it, and you give each one something, and that's what they want. They want somebody to bring something to their series. They don't want somebody just to tick all the boxes. And the problem with me teaching you all how to do, you know, ABC stories and breaking it all up is that it can become mechanical. So you've got to pull yourself back and start to think, I've got to make this really terrific. And that's, you know, it's just a different way of thinking.